Hey guys, Kiki here, Sundays for the Revolution, and this week is a free week. Yes, I'm sorry I'm a little late. On this last Monday, I stole a swig of my brother's Dr. Pepper that was in the fridge, and apparently he wards all his drinks with the plague. So I had a fun week. Yes, I'm finally getting over whatever this is, and if you can't hear it, I'm a little stuffed up, which is fantastic. Yes, but I'm going to live apparently. Yay. Okay, so this week is a free week, and I could not think of what I wanted to talk about until I was reading this book. And just to kind of start this, I read an obscene amount of books. I've always been that way, even as a child. And the type of books I like all genres. I prefer something that has something romantic in it. Some romance, even if it's a subplot in the story. Even if it's a romance that doesn't fulfill itself. If it's just tension or unrequited love, I still like that bit of romance in it. I mean, unless it's really well written, then I'll look past that. But for the most part, I like something with the romance, at least subplot in it. Anyway, the problem with stories with romantic bits in them is that it's very rare that you run across one that has a fat person as one of the people, at least one of the people in it. And I used to find that extremely frustrating. But the ones I do run across are almost always a fat female who hates herself and feels down on herself because she's always made fun of and talked down to and treated like crap. And she's like this little she's the cliche fat chick. She's mousy and she's one or two things. She's either really mousy and quiet and just internalizes all this stuff, or she's the desexualized, brazen, kick your ass chick. But she still hates herself. She uses that as a shield, And then this man comes into her life, and he either loves her because she's fat, or in spite of being fat. And this changes her world and makes her actually love herself. But she's still insecure. She still has those insecurities throughout the whole thing anyway. And when I was younger and I ran across these stories, I would think, wow, this is so awesome. These are such great stories. These people, they have fat characters that actually find love. I mean, what if I found something like that? And, and I thought it was great. Now they just kind of piss me off. And it's not, don't get me wrong. I'm all for using any tool possible to find self-love. But this thing where you find someone who bolsters your self-esteem because they either because they are attracted to you, is not end all be all of finding self-love. It has to be a stepping board, a springboard onto finding it through yourself. Because anything that you have that is dependent on somebody else, that person can take away. And I've been in that situation. My very first serious boyfriend when I was a teenager was one of those guys that preferred women with curves. And I thought no one would ever want me at all. I thought no one would want to have anything to do with me. I was just like this desexualized person until he came along. And so he bolstered my self-esteem, made me feel beautiful, made me feel sexy, made me feel wanted. And then he broke up with me, and my self-esteem plummeted even lower than it was before we were dating. And that's the problem with it, is that these stories it's almost like they preach to fat people that you need to find somebody to validate your body. And you don't. It's bullshit. As I said earlier, find any tool available. If this is one of them, if you find someone that's attracted to you either because you're overweight or in spite of it, or just because you are you and they bolsters your self-esteem, use it. Use it as a stepping stone to move towards self-love, but do not let it be dependent on them. Do not let it be dependent on that person's validation. Because you do not need validation for your body. That's something that was really hard for me to learn, and something that I did learn. Now I'm to the point where I do not need a partner, or no partner that I have, I do not need their validation. I do not need their love of my body to validate myself. Yes, I'm currently in a relationship, and I enjoy that my partner finds me attractive. I enjoy that he finds me beautiful, that he finds me sexy. I enjoy that. Don't get me wrong, but I don't feel the need to always look beautiful for him, because my body is not for his consumption unless I deem it to be. And I don't have to be the sexual creature for him all the time, because I'm a human being and I'm allowed to be comfortable and be happy and be myself. You know, normal days, if I'm coming home from work, I don't wear makeup at work, and I'm not going to make a special trip unless I deem I want to, just because. So, yes, I would love beyond love to see a story with a romance with at least one of the characters be fat, where either they use that as a stepping stone for self-love, or they already loved themselves and they didn't need the validation of that person. Because, I mean, we as fat people do not need the validation of skinny people to accept ourselves, whether it's a relationship or not. But yes, I guess that's all I wanted to say. I just got really frustrated because I was reading a new book, and it had this kind of crap in it, and it pissed me off. So yes, anyway, I will see you guys next week.